Judy and Red in the morning. Back at you with Ultimate Spider-Man. How we doing, John?
I didn't understand that one at all.
Yeah, I went real obscure with that one. If anyone
You really
knows,
switched it up for the webheads. They've had 150 episodes of the same intro, and now they got Judy and Red.
it's actually never been the same intro, John. I've made damn sure of that.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, this is a reference to a YouTube show from about 10 years ago. If anyone writes in and knows what show it is, you get a no prize.
They definitely get a no prize.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to come in with some information here.
Oh.
The webheads probably already heard me cough there. Longtime listeners might remember, back when either Zach or I was sick every single episode that we recorded. And sadly, I am coming down with a bit of a cold here, so
I bet
I'll
I
try
know
to keep
why.
my coughing and my sniffling away from the mic. But, when Zach gets me laughing, who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
Hey, that was kind of a poem.
You're a poet who didn't know it, and thanks
Yep.
for the pity laughs.
Yep.
I know how you got sick, dude.
How did I
Aren't
get
you
sick?
just around a bunch of people?
Well, I'm always and forever around a bunch of sick kids. So I think that's how I got sick. But yes, I was just in Disney World, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, that's like the mothership of sick kids from every state and country in the world.
And I got to be one of those sick kids this time.
Were you actually sick on the trip?
Yes, I was.
Oh,
yeah,
that
Monday.
sucks.
Monday was a pretty tough day. That was just to let everyone know, Mandy and I went to Florida the past 4 days, so we did some golfing, and then we did a couple days in Disney. And the first day I was very sick, but the second
So really,
day,
you're the one who got all those kids at
that's
Disney.
what I was saying. That's what I was saying. And then the second day, we went to Epcot. And Zach, I just have huge news for you about Epcot.
Do you like it or hate it?
I like Epcot a lot. I think it's very fun.
They say it's the park for adults.
They have a Guardians of the Galaxy ride that is relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
It is so fun. Anyone who is lucky enough to get to go to Disney, I would say, especially if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's such a fun ride. Probably one of the best in any of the parks. But we did it a couple times, and it's a good one. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I've been on it, and I had such a different experience than you.
What?
I get motion sick really bad, and I didn't know that it was gonna twirl you around and go upside down and stuff, and it would be in the dark with video screens all around you.
Yeah.
I did not handle it well. That kind of ruined my evening at Epcot.
No. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. No, that was it. I was going to say the best part about it that I do remember is in the line leading in, I was looking at all the artifacts they have on the wall and stuff, and I got really happy to see that one of the ships in the MCU Marvel Cosmos is called the Starjammer, which is an X-Men reference. That's the pirate spaceship that Cyclops' dad runs.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I always like reading all that stuff and paying attention to all of those little things. As soon as the ride started, so we were in line and Mandy's ridden it before, and she's like, "We have to be at the back. We have to be the last car." And I'm like, "Okay." And I knew nothing about the ride at all. And as soon as it starts, you spin around, and all of a sudden that car in the back is actually in the front, and you're going backwards. And I love that type of stuff. I love when it spins around and you don't know it's coming. And I'm a big fan of the music playing during the ride. I just had such a good time with it. Well, I was going to come in here and share the story of the ride if you thought it would be okay to spoil it.
Go for it.
Because I also thought that was really cool. And I thought, oh, it's comic adjacent. We could talk about that.
Absolutely. Tell us about it, John. I actually don't remember the story of the ride at all. I just remember trying not to throw up.
Well, Terry Crews joins the Nova Corps. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, my word. Yeah, and he basically, like, teleports you to, like, a Nova ship so you can, like, see the inner workings of the ship. And a Celestial, here's, like, how it starts. A Celestial steals that technology and opens a wormhole to the past to erase humanity. So you have to follow him through the wormhole and, like, help the Guardians and the Nova Corps stop him before he can do that.
That sounds like a pretty big mission. I'm surprised they didn't save that storyline for the next Avengers movie.
I thought it was a really cool story also. I'm like, oh man, I'm like really invested in this.
That's an Avengers level threat. I tell you what, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in California, because they took out the Tower of Terror, it's literally just an elevator that's broken. That's the point of the... Your thing sounds so cool, like on a cosmic level.
It was, and you obviously end up stopping him. But the first time I rode the ride, I couldn't follow the story well enough because, like Zach said, there's like screens going on and, you know, the characters are kind of talking and there's music playing and, you know that you're fighting him and there's stuff happening, but it's hard to see really what happens. But the second time I was able to pay a bit more attention and I was able to see how, you know, we and the Nova Corps and the Guardians all stopped him to save the day, and
but mostly
it was just
you.
A fun time. Yeah, it was mostly Mandy and me.
Yeah, you guys were doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Do you remember what song was played when you went? Because apparently there's like 7 different songs.
Oh, no, that's really cool. I didn't know that, and I don't remember what was playing. Honestly, if I heard it again, I'd probably get PTSD and like start throwing up.
I'm going to let you edit out that long pause.
I was already going to because I burped in it.
Well, we had the 2 different times we went. The first time we went, it played One Way or Another, which was fun. But then the second time, it played Burn Baby Burn, Disco Inferno, and that was really fun.
Huh. Do you know what the other songs are?
I know that one of them is Congo. They're like, come on, baby, I got Congo any longer. And I know that one of them is September.
By Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yep. And I'm not sure what the other ones are.
What if it was like Wake Me Up When September Ends? That would be like the least Guardians of the Galaxy song ever.
You get that one, it's just a downer of a ride. That's
the
one you lose.
Yeah, the track is running at 20% full speed.
It did seem like with the second one, it was moving faster. You know, the beat of the song does have to do with it. So
interesting.
But it was very fun. I was hyped to come on here and tell you about it.
There should be like...
I'm sorry that you didn't like it as much as I did.
There should be some like perk for the Disney adults that are there every other weekend. Where like once you reach a certain status, you know, you've given the company $100,000 this year, you get like a private ride on that, and you get to pick the song.
That would be awesome. But I hate to tell you, I think it's easier to give Disney $100,000 than it used to be, because
I know someone who does it.
Goddamn. Was everything so expensive, and of course, as a broke teacher, I would not have been able to do the trip myself. So I'm very thankful and appreciative for the people that did cover most of it. But anyway, dude, it's so expensive to go to Disney now. It's completely inaccessible for like so much of the population. It's crazy. They're scamming people out there. I know it's going to be hard to believe, Zach, but this big company is out here scamming people.
Disney would never. They actually love my childhood.
Yeah,
in
the
a
Mickey
very
Mouse is
spiritual
good.
way. Yeah. I found out the other day that Tolkien actually hated Disney. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said what he did to fairy tales. He thought fairy tales had like some like intrinsic mystic power in them to like teach people and you know, be powerful stories or whatever. And he didn't like that all of them got sanitized and given happy endings and talking animals. And like on his deathbed, he was like, just make sure my rights never like go to Disney. I don't want Disney to make a movie based off the Lord of the Rings.
Wow. I respect that. Because I do know you look at like every Disney film and there's some fun fact like this is actually based on a Brothers Grimm tale where everyone dies and they're all terrible or something. And it's like, oh, okay, and now it's Cinderella.
Dude, you go back to some of those like original fairy tale stories and it's like the 1600s version of American Horror Story.
Do you know
like,
any specifics?
They all end in like the children being like
Eaten
or killed or let out
Yeah.
into the woods and disappear. It's all just like Saw with children.
Well, good for Walt Disney to see that and see the magic in it.
He says there's something G-rated that appeals to all audiences here.
Yep. I'm coming in hot with a couple of different things. Guardians of the Galaxy was my first thing.
Okay.
We're moving fast today. Okay, we're giving the listeners a lot of info.
Okay, what's the second thing?
My volleyball team just had their game. That's why I was late hopping on. Because I thought I was going to... You know, originally, the other 8th grade team played after us. And originally, I was like, I'm going to stay for their game. And then I was like, I'm not going to stay for their game. And then once I got there, I was like, okay, I guess I'll stay for their game. So that's why all the time changes happened. And we got the win. We're 3-0. Our last 2 games, we have won the second... Or our last 2 matches, we have won the second game 25-24 coming from behind.
Let's go. City championship this year. I feel it.
I told him that is the type of, you know, that's the type of things that champions do, is like come from behind, you know, stay focused, don't like give up easily. So it's we're facing some good adversity early on before the postseason.
Good. Yeah.
I like it.
It's good to instill inside of them the mindset of a winner because not everyone has that.
100%.
A
lot of the kids on the team were still working on that.
My
We're the
buddy
B team.
is trying to put the winner mindset or the Mamba mentality into his infant son. And he told me the other day, he sat him down and he was like, all right, X-Dub, we're going to watch this documentary on Kobe Bryant so you can see what greatness is.
That's awesome.
And then they start watching the doc, and it's like he's expecting it to be like, and then he dropped 80 points. And it's talking about his rape case. And he just looks over at his like infant son. He's like, got to be honest, X-Dub, I did not know all these details.
This isn't the part we're focusing on. But how did he bounce back?
Right. He was like, I just kept waiting for it to go back to being about basketball, and it didn't.
Well, speaking of Kobe Bryant and 80 points, did you hear about Bam Adebayo?
No.
He plays for the Heat. He scored 83 about a week ago.
I've never even heard of him.
He's not one of, like, the very, very premier players in the league. He's, like, good, you know, even an all-star, but he's not. I mean, he just went off.
Huh.
Yeah.
Tell your kids that. Every dog has its day.
Zach, I did tell my kids that after the game. Or after that happened, the next day in practice, I asked them if they had heard about it. And I said almost the same thing I said to you. I was like, Bam Adebayo is not Kobe Bryant, but he was able to play, you know, basically what you said, every dog has his day in nicer terms, you know. you don't have to be, because we're the B team and we scrimmage the A team and they beat up on us. So it's like, you don't have to be the best player to be able to play the best on any given night.
Sure. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls.
Well, that's just the Mannings. Just kidding. Maybe have I told you that my new thing that I say with the kids whenever, like, Arch Manning has a bad game, I'll always be like, the Mannings are known chokers. I just completely, as a bit, just flip-flopped.
Like my bit that I'm the biggest Trump fan now.
That's a good bit. That's always
I wasn't
a good
sold
bit.
on him, but then he started this war and the whole Epstein thing, and now he's just owning them way better. He's owning the libs so good, man.
Yep. Okay, we've got one other thing we're coming in hot with. This was something we did together. So do you want to save it for the end or talk about it now?
We can talk about it now. I feel like we're in a good flow.
Zach, that Foxy Shazam concert was the most fun concert I've ever been to. With Blink 182, which we also did together, probably a close second. But man, I just loved that so much.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Did Mandy enjoy it?
She definitely enjoyed it. She didn't enjoy it as much as I did, but
Gotcha.
She doesn't like their music as much as I do. They're the only band I ever listened to anymore. Even before the concert, they were the only band I ever listened to anymore.
I'm so glad to hear that, dude, because I was like a little unsure. I was like, is he just going like to humor me, or is he going to enjoy this?
No way. That was awesome. So you're going to love this.
Okay.
I have a buddy who lives in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And guess what I'm doing on April 23rd in Grand Rapids with my buddy?
Are you seeing Foxy Shazam again?
We are going to see Foxy Shazam again.
Does he know them, or did you just say we have to?
He's never heard of them at all. He's my very best friend, and we obviously don't get to see each other all that much since he moved to Grand Rapids. And I looked up the tour days for Foxy Shazam because I was like, man, I just want to go see them again so badly. And they were playing in Grand Rapids, and just on a whim, I sent him a text, and I was like, dude, there's this band playing. It's on a Thursday, so we'd probably have to, like, take work off Friday, and or I would have to take work off Friday, And I was like, do you want to go? You've never heard of them. And he was like, sure, I'll go. And I don't know what he's going to think of this at all, but I think they just play such good music, and they put on a fun show. So why wouldn't it be fun?
John, do you see what's happening here?
What's happening here?
You're turning into me. This is how it starts.
I know.
This was everything you're saying is like how 16-year-old Zach responded to hearing Foxy Shazam for the first time, and then just increasingly went deeper and deeper and was like, I need to find more bands and I need to bring my friends to these shows.
Well, it's not a bad thing to have, because it's been a lot of fun going to these shows with you.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. How did it stack up with your expectations? Did you had you seen videos beforehand or anything?
Never. Nope. I purposefully didn't. Only because that one comment you made about it being crazier than we thought. And I don't know if I'm glad it wasn't wilder than that, in the crowd.
Right. It's not a mosh-heavy crowd. It's just that the band is doing such interesting things on stage.
They're just they look like they're having so much fun, which is probably an act. Because I talked to Mandy about it, and I was like, well, if they're really having that much fun, they would have came out and played an encore. And they didn't, so they were probably psyched to be done, and it was the last show of the tour. So I don't blame them for not playing an encore, But I wish that they had played an encore really badly. But that was the only thing I would change is I wish they played more songs, because they have so many good songs that I want to hear and didn't get to hear. But the ones that they played were great. I wouldn't change a thing. It was so fun.
Good. I wouldn't say it's like an act, like as in they're like faking it or whatever. It's definitely rehearsed, but I think I don't think going through the motions of it and like getting a reaction out of people ever gets old for them.
Probably not. I hope not.
I think they are exhausted after all of that, especially, I mean, they don't look it, but like I've been seeing these guys for 10 years. They're getting more up there in age. Like I could see them a little bit more tired doing all of those shenanigans than they used to be. And I was aware, like, damn, I'm way younger than them, and like my joints would hurt in the morning after all this.
That's actually kind of wild to think about. Yeah, because they get after it pretty hard.
And they used to even more. I have like a video in my phone from the first time I saw them where Eric Nally, the singer,
that's so cool.
He just like jumps straight up in the air as high as he can and then comes down and lands on his knees.
Oh, the like moves he was doing even in like Downtown, the music video, before I knew that was him and I had just watched the Downtown video when that came out, I was like, this guy's insane. How does he do the things that he does? My knees would hurt so much.
He's the coolest cat. I was thinking about this. I was thinking if you and I ever wanted to like make the pivot into like filmmaking as a career, we could very easily start by doing a documentary over Foxy Shazam, the band that dedicated their lives to being the greatest band in rock and roll history. And it's like they never reached it commercially, but they sure did everything they could to like put in the steps to be that band.
100%. And I was a telecom major. And I would love to do that. You know, I want to make my Tim Tebow documentary, and I could put that on hold to do a Foxy Shazam documentary.
I think you'd have to work your way up to the rights to Tim Tebow, but Foxy Shazam, they just live in Cincinnati, dude. Like, we could drive over on the weekends and interview them and their friends and family and stuff.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Mandy and I did look into how much they would cost to play at a wedding. because they have so many good love songs also on this new CD that are just like jams that they'll probably never play at live shows. But I want to hear them sing them so badly.
I wonder how much you'd have to pay them to do a Queen cover set. Because you know they could do it. They just don't want to.
But why would you want them to? Should we share the thing that about the eating the cigarettes? You can bleep that out if you don't want to share it.
No, we talk about it, dude.
Okay, well, I didn't know if it's like a secret for, you only get to see that.
Oh, he's only been doing it 20 years.
At one point, he sings this song and eats 4 cigarettes like a wood chipper with the smoke and ashes just flying off of it. And it was like the coolest and most disgusting, and like I was so confused if what I was seeing was real or not. And I looked so hard to see if he spit those out, and I did not see him spit them out. And one of the craziest things, because I've watched some other videos of him doing that now that I've seen it, is how much better he's gotten at it in the last 15 years. He inhales those things now.
Oh, yeah, it used to be just like one cigarette eaten so gingerly.
Well, and he would like crumple them up, in his mouth, and now it's just like... I mean, it was crazy.
The thing is, someone eating a cigarette on stage for your entertainment is like a true litmus test of did you see it or did you hear about it. It's like JFK versus Nixon debates. If you're there in person, you realize the vision. You see how cool in rock and roll it is. But if someone's just telling you about a wild man that ate cigarettes,
dude,
you want nothing to do with it.
That's like every time I tell someone about this concert, I'm telling them how fun it was and how cool it is, and then inevitably I get to this point where I'm like, you won't believe it. And then they're always like, oh, I'm surprised you like music like that. Like like, oh, that doesn't sound like my type of thing. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. It's not, I don't like him because he did that. It wasn't, it was just so cool. It was just like part of the show. And when you said that thing about like the band that wants to be the greatest rock band ever, that was like just today I was thinking about it because I was telling somebody about it. And I'm like, they're just like rock stars. They just like do rock star things, you know?
That's still to this day the best way to describe them. Like, I was trying to describe them to someone, and they were like, oh, cool, so are they like punk rock? And I'm like, no, dude, they're just like rock and roll. But like, crank it up to 11.
Yeah. So awesome. I'm so glad that you like got me into this. I'm so thankful to James Gunn for putting them as the Peacemaker intro song. I mean, that used to be like the only song of theirs that I listened to, and now it you know, I listen to all of the other ones so often. You know, my new favorite is you probably won't get it, but part
Teenage
of
Demon Baby.
That is probably one of my favorite. I would put that in like my top 3. I have multiple favorites, but that one I listen to the most, along with The Only Way to My Heart.
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite one. That one has aged very well.
They just rock out so hard to that one. And I remember like the trumpet player like jumping up and playing the trumpet parts, and Eric Nally, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Him like doing the axe motion, and I'm like, this is just awesome. These guys
jumping
rock.
while playing a trumpet is another thing that does not sound cool when you say it. But when you see it, it's fucking awesome.
It is. You've never seen a trumpet player rock out as much as this guy.
You've never seen a keyboardist throw his instrument into the crowd and crowd surf while playing it so much.
Yeah. Just incredible. I cannot wait to see them again. I was so happy when my buddy said he wanted to go. And the only reason I haven't texted you about it is because I wanted to share that with you on the pod.
I figured as much.
If you want to go to that, I'm sure there are still tickets available. It's April 23rd in Grand Rapids. You'd have to take Thursday and Friday off, but
I don't
think about it.
Thursday off because I actually don't work Fridays. I'll think about it.
Okay.
And then to top the night off, we went to an even better concert.
Well, I'm not even going to joke about that. But no, it wasn't better, but it was still fine.
Yeah, no one was fucking with it but me. But it's a much
good. Mandy and I talked about how good they were.
On much worse equipment in a worse venue. You know,
yeah.
It's like you're seeing someone at the top of their career versus someone starting out.
You know, people got to go see the Beatles in a basement in Hamburg, playing on shitty equipment also. So they sounded good to me. And the lead singers had good chemistry.
Yeah. So we saw
Mandy and I enjoyed that one a lot.
Well, good. Yeah, so as soon as Foxy Shazam ended, we like jetted across town and saw Good Flying Birds because I was like, this is a local band that I haven't gotten to see yet. Real excited about. So
yeah, you'll have to keep me in the loop with how their career goes.
They actually just had a big week. So they went down to South by Southwest and they played like multiple showcases at South by Southwest. And I was seeing those on Instagram all week, and they were like, seemed like they were being pretty well attended. And then as soon as that ended, they're doing a tour through the South back up to Indy. And then they announced this summer they're going to Europe.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a memory that I will keep with me. And if they get big, I'll be like, wow, that was really cool. You know, we saw Foxy Shazam and then them in the same night.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool no matter what. But if they get big, it'll be really cool.
I'm not patronizing them. I think they could. They're very young, and they're already really good.
That lead singer, I guess the guitarist and like the second singer, but man, he seemed so talented.
Yes. Yeah, as a wise senator from Naboo once said, I'll be watching their career with great interest.
All right, long intro.
Very long.
Do you have anything else?
Nope. Let's get into these issues. We're just sending it. We're just sending it right now.
Every business says they're better. But the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
All right. Issues 17 and 18 of Ultimate Spider-Man. It's been a minute.
Which one do you want to walk us through, Zach?
I'll take the first one.
Okay.
Okay. So, this, I know last time we said we were done with United We Stand. I guess technically these are the last issues, but the plot is already wrapped up. These are just Spider-Man's view of it.
Very cool. I wasn't expecting it. But it's nice to get to see the guy we're actually following, his perspective of all the events we've been reading about.
Yes. I actually forgot that we got these issues because he was so, like, not in the end of United We Stand. And then I read these and I was like, oh, yeah, that's why. And so Brian Michael Bendis, art by Pepe Larraz, colored by Justin Ponzer, and lettered by VC's Corey Petit. And so we open on Spider-Man walking alone through a cornfield as the sun either rises or sets. And he's saying to himself, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And he sees a helicarrier thing go by, and he's like, oh, it's S.H.I.E.L.D. Hey, wait, stop, please pick me up. And he tries to shoot a web at them, but he's out of webbing. And he says, I just want to go home. And we cut to 4 hours ago on a helicarrier outside of Casper, Wyoming.
Before we read these issues from his perspective, do you remember what happened with him? I mean, you're right that he was so in the background. I just would be like, he was just a part of the fight. But I don't remember anything specifically him doing or happening to him.
Yeah, there was like one panel where you see him on a web being dangled behind a war machine. And you kind of look at him and you laugh. And then he's like absent for the rest of the fight. Okay. And we're finding out here that there is a reason for that. So it's before the battle. They're on the deck of a helicarrier with a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and Falcon, Hawkeye, Sue Storm, and Spider-Woman. And Hawkeye is giving everyone a little pep talk before battle. And he's giving out assignments, and he's like, Jessica, you and the kid are a team. And she doesn't like that. She's like, no, I don't want to work with him. I'm actually going to do my own thing. And he's like, listen, Missy, this is coming from Captain America, the President of the United States, and me. So it's in order, so you guys are a team. And they move out and enter the battle, and we see this is where they like attack a convoy of HYDRA people on a road, and there's giant men and women on both sides, and planes and tanks and stuff.
There are heroes on both sides, you might say.
Yes.
There's good people on both sides.
Was that meant to be another Star Wars reference?
Isn't that like what it starts? Isn't that like the start of the third one? There are heroes on both sides.
And because of that, there's an episode of Clone Wars called that.
Really?
Yeah, and it really like plays up, you know. Hey, did you guys know there are heroes on both sides? Just in case you didn't catch it in the movie. And Miles is kind of shell-shocked with all the fight. He's kind of, you know, he freezes because he's not used to all these bullets flying. And we go back to Brooklyn 3 hours ago where his dad is in the back of an armored truck. He's being taken away by S.H.I.E.L.D. because, remember, he got, like, arrested for crossing the picket line.
I remembered it was something silly.
Yes.
Yeah. Why was S.H.I.E.L.D. rounding people up? They're the good guys.
Maybe that's... John, don't tell me they put politics in our comic books. Damn it.
But why? But why were they rounding people up?
They were just like, this street is closed because of some, like, superhero bullshit.
And then he was causing a ruckus, so they just threw him in the van.
He was like, I live here. I want to go into my house.
Seems reasonable.
Yep. So he is banging on the door. He's like, let me out. I'm innocent. Blah, blah, blah. And there's two other guys in there, and they're like, yeah, dude, so are we. I thought this was America. The guy says, you can't go out for... You can't? Sorry. He says, I can't believe this. The other guy says, you can't? I was going out for ice cream. So these are all innocent men being persecuted by the state when suddenly the van gets shot and flips over, and these HYDRA goons liberate Jefferson Davis. And they're like, they've got the HYDRA people have the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents tied up and on the ground, and he says, on your knees, puppy dogs. He keeps calling them puppy dogs. He does that again later. And Jefferson exits the flipped over van, and he says, what is this? And they're like, we're HYDRA. We're here to take back the country. We're here to liberate you. For the people, by the people.
Okay, so let's discuss the... Oh, sorry.
They're kind of just giving HYDRA propaganda.
Well, is it propaganda? If S.H.I.E.L.D. is rounding up people for getting ice cream and trying to go home, and HYDRA is liberating these people, that's a good thing, right? Okay, so there's the first point that I want you to discuss. And the second one is, are these people brainwashed, or are these real HYDRA agents, do you think?
Okay, so propaganda doesn't have to be bad, right? Like, I can say, oh yeah, Lenin talks about how to make communist propaganda, because I know that, like, propaganda is just a method of, like, communicating your political ideal, and it's only by, like, modern...
Does it have to do with, like, trying to gain a base or something?
Yeah, it's like the same word as saying, like, advertising or polling or
okay,
you know, messaging or whatever. It's all the same game. Propaganda is just like the proper term for it, and we've, like, put connotations on it.
Okay.
But no, I don't think these guys are brainwashed. I think they're true believers because they are not in range of Modi. And I think Modi is the one who does all the brainwashing.
Good point.
So they let them out, and they're like, here, join us. And they give them guns. And then one of the other HYDRA guys shoots the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the head and says, bye-bye, puppy dog. Hope it was all worth it.
Executes the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent would be a better word.
Yes, because he posed no threat. He was tied up. He was on the ground.
On his knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Jefferson looks shocked.
Maybe HYDRA's not as good as we thought they were a minute ago.
Well, I mean, you know, Malcolm X would say that political violence is a tool used by both sides of any conflict.
This is a real heroes on both sides type of episode, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Anyways, back to the Battle of Wyoming. Spider-Man is on his knees, seeing stars, and he's just not built for this. And Jessica sees that and immediately grabs him with a web and starts, like, running and pulling him away, trying to get him out of there. And
this
she's
probably
like,
happened to Peter the first time he was in a big fight also.
Oh, we saw
He
Peter
froze up.
get his ass handed to him freezing up? I don't know. I can't remember. I can't even remember what his first really big fight would be, because I feel like for a long time he's just taken on enemies one
Villain
at a time.
of the week, kind of.
Yeah. Might have been like Ultimate 6. You remember that?
Yeah.
We get to the what? Hearth Michelson. We love Hearth Michelson.
What a long time ago that was.
Yeah. So we don't know what her mindset or motive is, but Jessica is like trying to overprotect Miles and wants him to get out of there. And whatever thing they're hiding behind while she's talking to him, it blows up and comically blows them to safety. And this is the part where Miles sees a war machine flying by and webs onto it and starts riding it. And this is the one moment that we saw him doing anything in the fight in the other issue. And some other war machines lock onto him, and they come and they start shooting. But he jumps away and they shoot their friends, and it's good fun. So he's got all the war machines blasting each other in the air, and then he has nothing to grab onto, and he starts falling. And he's like, oh, I should have thought about that. And then he finds a helicopter, and he's riding on that, and he's just having good fun. Everyone else is really doing the fight. He's just kind of playing. And he's thinking, I hope Genki saw that. He's wondering if someone's filming this. And then Jessica catches up with him, and for the second time in 2 or 3 pages, a grenade lands next to them, and it blows them up and blows them to safety. And he's like, what is your problem? Why do you hate me? And she's like, I don't hate you. If I hated you, I would throw you at them. And he says, there's something weird with you and me. What is it? You know something and I don't. And they never get to talk about it because a bunch of war machines descend on them. And
is this connection, and is the reason Jessica Drew is just so keen on keeping him safe, is it just because she knows that Peter's blood is what made him, or is there something more going on?
I don't know if they're referencing the fact that she is a Peter clone. I think that's her secret generally, but I don't know why that would affect him personally so much, besides the fact that he's Spider-Man now.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Why is she being so protective?
They just got to play something up.
Okay.
So we go back to New York, and Rio reaches the same roadblock, and she's like, hey, S.H.I.E.L.D. people, I live here. I'm trying to get through. And they're like, you can't get through. No one can. Same thing that Jefferson just went through. And she gets them to call, and they call up to their superiors, and they're like, oh, awesome. Yep, we can move out of here. We're done here. All right, you people have fun. She goes into the house, and she sees Jefferson Davis sitting on the couch looking down at a gun. And there's a drink on the table. Looks like there's a bruise on the back of his head. It's a very worrying sight. And she asks him what's going on, and he kind of comes to like he was in a trance. And then back in Wyoming, she's crying and she's saying, "What baby, where's Miles?" And we see Miles back in Wyoming, standing there with Jessica. They both look badass. They just took out all the war machines that had approached them, and she's still trying to get him out of there. And Miles looks up and he sees the Star-Spangled Man with a Plan, President Captain America, riding in on a flying helicopter with the flag on it. And he sees a war machine.
Because we remember that scene from last episode, right?
One of my favorite panels that we've covered on this show.
It looks not so goofy in this one. From this angle with this panel,
it still looks pretty goofy to me. Why would you, A, send the President of the United States out into a battle, but then B, mark his vehicle with an obnoxious, massive fucking flag. Like, you're telling everyone on their side where to aim.
Why? Well, to answer the first question, nobody sends Steve Rogers into battle. He chose to go into battle. He's not going to let other people fight this war for him. But second, am I misremembering, but wasn't he holding the flag? Which
yes.
I don't think he's doing in this one.
I think he was holding the flag.
Me too, which that's partially what made it so goofy looking, I think, is that he's holding the flag. In this one, it is at least on the back of the ship, so he has a hand free because he's holding his shield with the other hand now. But then, to your other point, I'm pretty sure people are going to know who Captain America is when he shows up to the fight. There's no hiding him, really.
Well, that's the other thing. Just he doesn't have to wear the suit today. He can put it away for one day, wear some armor. Yes. Please, President.
Yeah.
So this thing that he's on, this like hover bike, I actually remember I saw something online back in high school that said, oh, by the year 2018, these things will be in production and available for public purchase. And, they can go up, down, left, right. You just fly and you're on a motorcycle and they'll be $60,000. And I told everyone that someday I was going to have a hover bike.
Well, by 2035, I think those are supposed to be there.
Oh, yeah. If we're not dead yet, and they'll be Tesla branded and AI.
I was actually just thinking, I was about to say when you said Tesla branded, but did you know that I think I saw something that Elon Musk has said that they will have a full self-driving car every year since like 2008. He has said by next year we'll have a full self-driving car. And you just watch clips of him every single year making the exact same comment. And I think he's good. I think he's a smart guy.
Well, I think it's good to have long-term goals, and I'm proud of him for not letting anyone's doubt or constant failure or seemingly the limit of science stopping him from making that claim.
That's me too. It's you aim good. Yeah. Good job, Elon Musk. And good sentence, Johnny.
Anyways, so Miles sees a war machine with a beat on the president, and he's like, oh my gosh, he's gonna get him. We're in a massive battle, but that one particular guy that I just locked onto is gonna be the one that gets Cap.
Yep.
And he shoots a web, and Jessica, because they gotta have someone who's like the wet blanket. She's like, what are you doing? We have orders. She would not be. Peter Parker would not be the one hand-wringing about some shit like that. Peter Parker would be the one doing the swinging.
Unfortunately, you can't read a Jessica Drew like comic or scene without thinking, is this how Peter would act? And that's what I mean when I'm like, why is she being so protective and everything like that? Because it's just like, no, this isn't at all how Peter Parker would act. Peter would act more like Miles is acting through all this, swinging through and just kind of like having a little fun and making comments. He would never be the person that's like, shut up, stop making your jokes,
Yes. She is being big sis here. Peter would be being bro.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Miles swings onto the war machine, and he gets up to the front, and he's kind of pulling its neck and steering it. He's doing a Ratatouille. He's the little mouse in the hat that's controlling this war machine. And they crash into a giant woman and fall to the ground and sputter into a field. And then this is where we pick back up with where the issue started with with Miles standing up, and he's all alone in a field, and he says, "I just want to go home." And it says, "To be continued."
Is this the giant woman that was under Modi control? Was that Carol Danvers or something that they put under control? Or
it was Cassie Lang.
Yes. And is this Cassie Lang?
I can't tell. It might be. She's blonde. And she seems to be on his side because he says sorry to her.
Okay. But at the very beginning of the next episode, they start fighting. So it seems like she's under Modi control. So that's what made me...
Oh, I didn't realize that was the same one, but I guess that would make sense that he knocked her down too.
Well, so that's why I thought maybe it's Cassie or, whoever was the one that Modi put under control. But I feel like we see her the whole time in the last issue. So maybe Modi has multiple giant women under control. It doesn't
I think
really
we saw
matter.
that there definitely
was
multiple.
Getting your opinion on it.
Yeah, no. Now I was thinking way too hard about it. I was like, was her hair color the same? Yeah, it's the same woman.
Oh, so this is Cassie Lang?
No,
or the same woman from one episode to the next.
That one.
One issue to the next. Okay. Okay. A lot of exciting stuff happened here.
Yeah.
And it teases a lot of stuff. I want to know what happens with Miles' dad.
It's interesting that we saw him land in basically a cornfield, and the cover of your issue is him, crawling through the desert.
Yeah, you're right. They can't decide where he crashed.
Bro, you're going the wrong way.
What do we think?
It was good. It had some laughs for me. The one thing I wish, though, is, the rule of threes in comedy.
Yep.
It's always funniest when you do it a third time. First time it's funny, second time it's a reference, third time it's a bit. And so I wish they had found another opportunity to have something blow up next to Peter and Jessica and blow them to safety.
I didn't even realize that either time until you mentioned it twice.
Well, it's an entire panel is devoted to it both times. And I'm like, why are they giving that much page length? That didn't tell us any new information other than something blew up, but they're fine.
Yeah.
If they had done it 3 times, I think it would have been
That's a good pickup, Zach.
Because now I'm wondering if it was an accident. But then I'm like, it can't have been an accident. That's a deliberate choice.
I feel like maybe it is an accident. If I had one problem with this issue, it's that there is just a little too much of Jessica Drew being like, you got to get out of here,
Yes.
And every time they were talking, I feel like that's almost just a good way to reset the conversation. You got to get out of here, and then they blow away, and then they can, go back and do other stuff for a little bit. So maybe they did just accidentally use that twice in the same issue.
That is a good point. Because that is what you're right. It does reset it. They can never get any depth because they're just repeating themselves constantly.
Yeah. And then even in this next issue, every time Miles is like, what do you know that I don't know? That's when they blow up and get sent somewhere else.
I hate kicking the can down the road for conversations that have to happen.
Yeah.
Just have it, and then let's see what the next progression of the story is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. So that would be my one negative. But outside of that, I thought this was a pretty good one.
Yeah. I have to give it like 2 ratings because it's like, as far as just being fun and cool and having good art, it was Pepe Larraz, one of my favorite artists. Like, this was a great issue, but then if we're looking at, well, was Jessica written in character? Did this actually tell us anything about her and Miles? Did this go anywhere? Yeah. But I think it evens out to, I'm going to say a 7.5.
Out of what?
I'm going to say 75 feet tall giant women.
Okay. Out of 100-foot tall women, this was a 75-footer. I think that's a good rating. An 8 feels a little too high after those comments that we just made, but a 7 feels too low because it was still a pretty fun one.
Yes.
And Peter saved the president, which we're all psyched about. He got that one war machine, like you said, that was going to take him down.
And the crazy thing is, that's not even the first time today that he saved Captain America.
Oh, what did he do earlier?
He caught him when he was, like, falling off the Triskelion.
And isn't that when Captain America was like, okay, you're ready to be a hero? That's fine.
And I'm pretty sure he, like, saved him from the Rhino.
Captain America he relies on Spider-Man too much. Too many times.
I think he needs to hire a new presidential aide.
Yeah.
We need the West Wing with Steve Rogers as Martin Sheen and Miles Morales as the president's, like, assistant.
Josh.
Was that his name? No, not Leo.
Leo's the chief of staff.
Right.
Josh is like the quick talking, kind of squirmy look. He's the guy from Billy Madison, the bad guy, if you remember that.
Who's the
Rob Lowe is one of the speechwriters, and Toby is also one of the speechwriters.
Who's the black kid that in the first episode they're like,
oh, that's Toby. That's like his like assistant for everything.
Yes.
Or okay. No, I'm sorry. Toby I just said was one of the speechwriters.
Yeah.
This is...
He dates the president's daughter later. He's like the point of view character for the first episode.
It's not like Duke or something, but yeah, of course I like know who this guy is.
The whole first episode is them.
I'm going to try to think of something else to type in other than who's the black kid in the West Wing.
Dude, it sounds so bad when you say that, but really it sounds bad to them for not hiring more black actors. And it's really weird that the first episode of the West Wing is just them talking about whether or not they should hire this qualified young black man to be the president's assistant because
he was black. That's like what the episode's about.
They're like, is that bad optics? It's like, Jesus Christ, maybe it wouldn't be if every other person in this show wasn't white.
And good for Martin Sheen for being like, I don't care, he's the best man for the job. If that's even how that episode went, I don't remember. The guy's name was Dule Hill. That's the actor's name, and his character name is Charlie.
Charlie, get me a Diet Coke!
And it's also their fault for making the only black character the assistant.
And the one that you
But I think
remember.
That's what they talked about in the episode.
Right. No, that is, like, I get what they were saying with the episode, but the fact that it's a bunch of white people alone in the room making the decision on whether or not they should hire a black person tells you the issue with, like, what, like, they were worried about the optics instead of the reality that they were, like, the whitest presidential...
And they were the Democrats. They were supposed to be the good guys.
They were. What happened to...
How did we start talking
the Big
about
Tent?
This? Oh, yeah, Steve Rogers needs a new Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Real quick, this does... I think Gavin Newsom just watches The West Wing and tries to, like, base everything he does off of that. I'm convinced
why is this?
He's not even a real person. I think he's like an alien who watches The West Wing and tries to mimic human politician.
That would not surprise me if that is like a plan for lots of politicians.
I don't know, man. Something scares me about him. He's just got those like soulless eyes. Says I'll shill for anything. Anyways, back to the issue.
Zach, the cats are making noises, okay? And I can hear stuff going on in the house. So could you give me 1 quick minute break here? And
Yes.
then I'll be right back with my issue.
Okay. Everything good?
The dog was squeaking on a toy.
Oh.
I knew I could hear something. All right. Are we getting into this next one?
Yes, we are.
So, we start... Oh, and this is written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by David Marquez, so different artist. Colored by Justin Ponzard, lettered by VC's Corey Petit. And we get Genki's perspective, which is kind of fun because, as Zach mentioned in the last one, Miles did a cool, web flip thing, and he was like, oh man, I hope someone's recording this so Genki sees this.
That is kind of fun.
And so, as it turns out, someone is recording this, and Genki is watching, and it's Ben Urich from thebugle.com. It's so hard to remember if Ben Urich is dead or alive after all of the death and destruction in this universe, and the fact that the only time we see Ben Urich in the movies and TV shows, he is dead. So I was like, oh yeah, Ben Urich is alive in this.
And white.
Oh, I was okay. And here's a crazy crossover for you. So I've been watching The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who showed up in the last couple episodes? None other than the guy who plays Ben Urich.
What?
Yeah, he's like the housing and urban development guy. They're like doing a big housing and urban development scam.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was him.
Well, probably if you don't, I bet if I watched Sopranos and then I watched that, maybe I wouldn't have realized. But watching Daredevil first, I was like, oh my God, it's Ben Urich from 20 years ago.
There's like a very weird list of actors that you didn't know were in Sopranos. Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm about to mention it. Who were you going to say?
Lady Gaga.
I didn't know that.
It was before she was famous. Michael B. Jordan as a child. It was his first acting credit.
I'm going to have to look out for this. I hope I haven't missed these people. But how surprised was I when season 3 started and Will Arnett showed up as like a serious detective. I'm like, what? Will Arnett wasn't always just Joe Bluth?
It's an illusion, Tone.
And then the Riddler, the guy who plays the Riddler, that
Yes.
like weird guy.
Paul Dano.
He's a weird kid.
Yeah. Isn't that such a good show?
It's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like watch it whenever I have like a free 5 minutes. I like put it on my phone and walk around the house.
Last night I rewatched Thunderbolts, but I tried to imagine, like, okay, the script of Thunderbolts, like most Marvel movies, is very to the point. It's like, hello, Senator. How is the illegal weapons smuggling scheme going? Because they got to get to it fast, and like they know young people are watching it. And I was like, if this were a Sopranos episode, they'd be like, I spoke to our friend about the business you and I spoke of. And you would just have to guess what they're talking about.
I love how they talk. They're so smart. They never incriminate themselves.
They're wise guys.
There's something kind of like crazy about that everyone in the government and everyone in law enforcement can know that these people are doing so many illegal things, and they can't just go and arrest them. I think that's a bad thing.
Well, maybe 20 years ago...
Is there a chance that the burden of proof is too high?
Dude, you realize there's like everyone that's doing this mobster shit in the private sector, multiply that 100-fold, and that's what our government who would be arresting us are doing.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Sorry. I already got off track.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Genki's watching from home. It's Ben Urich. He's alive. He's a good reporter. He's like, I'm
white.
here. I'm here. I'm reporting this live. Folks, the president has joined the fight. He's on the front line. And, Spider-Man is there also, the new Spider-Man. And someone is like, first of all, Ben Urich's like, Doctor, who does he say? Dr. Sue Storm is here, Iron Man's here, the Hawkeyes, the Fantastic Four, and even the newest Spider-Man. And someone interrupts him and he's like, whoa, Spider-Man? You mean the guy who's on trial for killing the Prowler? Nobody cares about that stuff. Spider-Man's the least popular character out of all of these guys, and nobody knows who the Prowler is. The President of the United States is fighting in-person HYDRA. And some no-name anchor reporter is going to jump in and interrupt the story with this piece of information.
Also, as if all of these heroes haven't publicly killed people before, too. It's the ultimate universe, baby. Half of them have guns right now. You're talking about killers.
Yeah. Killing's cool. Isn't that what Zack Snyder said? Grow up. Batman murders people.
It's ultimate. You remember when Cyclops just fucking blasted Magneto's head into a grillion pieces?
I remember when Doctor Doom ripped off, or when the Thing ripped off Doctor Doom's head, and then you told me it was actually like Reed Richards' mom or something like that.
Yeah, that shit was weird.
Is that how... Wait, Cyclops and Magneto. That's what you said.
Yes. Do you remember Cyclops? Magneto's like, has a moment of clarity, and he's like, oh my god, what have I done? And Cyclops says something hard like, no one will ever forgive you.
That is ultimate.
Escorts him to hell.
So they're like, so Ben Urich is rightly like, there's more important things going on right now. We'll find out about that later. And Ben is reporting live, and Genki's watching live, and he's like, Captain America vowed to shut down this revolution himself, and oh my god, a war machine is about to attack Captain America. Whoa, Spider-Man just personally saved Captain America. I cannot believe what I just witnessed. Wow, that was a direct attack that was going to happen. And he says, it looks like the president was right to send in Spider-Man after all. Wow. There's 100 war machines, but that one that Spider-Man took down, I'm glad that they're giving him props for it, though.
Genuinely, he's met Cap 3 times in his or 4 times in his life, and he saved his life 3 of them. It's at this point like a gross incompetence if they don't hire Spider-Man to be the head of Secret Service.
They've got to get him on the payroll. So we catch back up with Miles. He's lost in his fields. And he says, I've never even left New York, and now I'm lost. You think someone would come looking for me. Maybe that crazy Spider-Woman wants to yell at me some more. Where is everyone? Is the war over? And that's when he sees the giant woman that he kind of crash-landed with in the field with him. And he's like, hello, and he can tell that something is wrong with her. He says something's off, and then he can see she gets up, and she's just got a look in her eyes. This is not a good guy look. She looks at him like she's going to attack him. And he says, hello, crazy giant woman. Time out? No. And she goes to attack him. And she says, you're with Captain America. You can die like Captain America. So I think that this is Cassie Lang, because she was the one that was mind-controlled to kill Captain America, right? She, used a tank to blow him up or something.
I actually know that this is not Cassie Lang because it says hours later, and then Cassie plays a pretty pivotal role in the battle once she's not mind-controlled anymore.
Good catch, Zach. Every time I make a statement where I think something, you just right away.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's why we're a good team. And not Cassie Lang says, you'll be an excellent hostage on my way out of this. And Miles shocks her and then goes camo mode on the ground. So do we think that she is mind-controlled?
No, because I still think if we're hours later, I think the combat is already done. I think Modi is dead. I don't think they realize that they're the last soldiers fighting.
So was this a double agent? Was she... Did S.H.I.E.L.D. think that this giant woman was on her side and then she just betrayed them?
That is a good question. I'm not sure how... I'm not sure if HYDRA somehow had PIM particles or something and could...
Yeah, they could.
I don't know. Well, they raided Project Pegasus.
Yeah.
So they probably had their own giant woman.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me think she is maybe mind-controlled is I don't think her eyes look like normal eyes. It seems like there's something going on with them.
I would agree with that, yeah. They look kind of glazed.
So Miles goes invisible. She's looking for him. She can't find him. And but then I guess she does manage to track him down. So he must not be completely invisible. It's like the Halo active camouflage is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it wears off.
And if you're moving, you can see little blurs. And she manages to squish him with her hand. And one other thing that I didn't mention is Miles's mask is off. So this is a Miles Morales where she can see his face. So he's really running for his life because he also needs to protect his secret identity. But she manages to grab him, and she's going to use him as a hostage to get herself freedom, I guess. And then we catch back up with Miles's parents, who are still at home. And if you remember Jefferson Davis, the last we saw of him, the person was executed in front of him, and he seems to be having a rough day. Rio just came home, and he was on the couch with the gun, and that's where they are now. And she's like, what happened to you? You're scaring me, because he's not saying anything. And we see flashes of the HYDRA agent executing the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, handing Jefferson Davis the gun, and it did look like Jefferson Davis was going to join HYDRA before that HYDRA agent went a little too far. That's what it seemed like to me.
They were making some good points.
He took the gun from them,
Yeah.
And he tells Rio, they thought I could be one of them. And she says, did you help them? And we don't know yet either. And then the page turns, and we see Jefferson Davis turn the gun on the HYDRA agents, and he took out all three of them before escaping away and running back towards his home. And he says, I ran back here. I think I may have blacked out. I didn't mean it. I just want what we have, what we built. I ruined everything. And Rio just says, I need you to get it together. We need to find Miles. That's all that matters. We have to find Miles.
You hear my cat? Well, now she stopped.
There's such a we both live in such zoos.
Yeah.
There's always random noises going on. I don't think Jefferson Davis overreacted here.
No. I also think who the hell knows what you would do in that situation. You know, if I was just witness to someone getting shot in the head, I think I would be in shock and I would just want to get away from the situation. And I think this is the only way he saw that he could do that.
Yeah. You know, it makes me think that, well, he kind of has that hero gene in him too, to an extent.
Or is it the killer instinct that his brother had?
Ooh. I don't know, you're right. I guess he and what's his brother's name? Sometimes I feel like my brain is just
Uncle
broken.
Aaron.
Uncle Aaron, that's right.
But he doesn't call him Uncle. He would just call him Aaron.
Yeah. You're right. They did get into some bad stuff. And
so
he
it's
looked like he knew how to use that gun.
Who is he? You know, we look at Jessica and we're like, okay, is she Peter or is she some other entity? And you could look at Jefferson and you could say, okay, who is he more like, Aaron or Miles? We've seen some not good qualities from Jefferson Davis, and we've also seen some good qualities about him.
Well, he was about to take that gun and start. If they had not just executed that SHIELD agent, I'm pretty sure Jefferson Davis had it with SHIELD.
Oh yeah,
and
he was
the
getting
American
red-pilled.
government.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. But also, I mean, we've seen him be like racist towards mutants, but then he's like such a loving father and husband, and he just wants to like provide for his family. He feels like a very good three-dimensional character to me.
Yeah, I agree. So we're back with Miles and the giant woman, and she says, "HYDRA base, this is Giant Woman Operative 6. So they have at least 6 giant women. And she says, "I'm stuck out here in the middle of nowhere. I can't even see the battle zone. I'm pretty far up here. HYDRA base, I have a prisoner. I have Spider-Man. He's not what you think he's not what you think he'd be at all." And Miles thinks to himself, whatever, racist. Or is she talking about that I'm a kid? Either way, I only have one chance. And she zaps him again and gives her a good cold clock to her chin and to her ankle. And he does a good beat up on her. You know, it's always fun watching a really small person beat up a really big person.
Yes. And it's funny because with this scale, it's really like she's a normal person and he's Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, he gives her a big punch under the chin and, you know, her head flies back. We've all seen the movies. We've seen Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And Miles says, "Yay, I beat up a girl. How proud I must be."
Oh, you're not gonna touch the panel before that?
I was Miles is standing on her chest. I did miss a panel that I did want to talk about. Maybe I missed it, but at some point when he sees the giant woman, he's like, "I don't like how turned on I am," or he says something like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he finds her hot.
Yeah. And then, this panel Zach's talking about.
Buddy, that's the start of lifelong feelings that are never going to go away.
And he's standing on her chest, just between her chest, and that's what the panel is. And he, like I said, he says, "Yeah, I beat up a girl. How proud I must be. Well, at least I didn't get beat up by a girl." And he sees that helicopter flying in. I think this is maybe where we catch up with him, like at the very start. But maybe that was a different convoy that went past him.
I think it was.
Okay, so this is now a second convoy, and these are trucks that are coming for him. And he's calling out to him, and it's Jessica Drew. And she says, "We intercepted her walkie-talkie communique." So luckily, that giant woman tried to get in touch with HYDRA, but like you said, Zach, the war had already been stopped, so I guess that they kind of had access to that communication. And they came and found Miles, and Jessica Drew calls into the president, and Miles is first. He's very apologetic. He's like, "You were right. I shouldn't have been here. I'm too young. I'm not built for the ultimates." And of course, every time somebody starts talking like that, after the other person has been saying that the whole time, you know that now it's going to turn. She's going to be like, "No, you did great." It's just such a cliche. And Jessica Drew, as he's like apologizing, Jessica Drew calls the president and says, "Mr. President, this is Spider-Woman. I have him. He's okay. Yes, sir. The man who saved the president's life is fine." That's so goofy. Why would she say that to the president?
Here's the thing. If Captain America had just gotten elected president, like hours ago, just gotten elected president and like taken the oath of office or whatever, and was still wearing all of his Captain America gear, I would not be used to calling him Mr. President. Like, everyone's doing it so flippantly, it would take me a long time to come to grasp
They've been calling him
that.
Cap forever.
And that he's still doing the Cap things. He's still on the battlefield and in his little costume and carrying a flag when he shouldn't.
I can't imagine he would want to go by Mr. President.
Well,
President Cap.
Yeah.
What do I know?
President America.
What do I know?
The reason we call them Mr. President is actually because of like Washington's humility. Because they originally were trying to come up with some title that was like, Her Honorific Majesty Protectorate of our Liberties, blah, 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 blah. And Washington was like, "No, just call me Mr. President." And that was like, oh my God, he's a real person like us.
Wow. Good job, George.
Went home to his plantation.
I was about to say, George Washington actually had a lot of good qualities. It's too bad he owned all those slaves. But now, to his credit, he released them all upon his death. So only he gets slaves.
Or at least he tried to, and then his wife was like, "The hell you... No, you're not going."
I don't think that happened. Just to make this a historically accurate pod.
I was just happy spewing my own disinformation.
Where was I in this?
At the start of page 15. Back in New York.
No, I was about to say something stupid. I'm certain of it.
We already did that a couple times.
Anywho. So, the man who saved the president's life is fine. Thank God. Cap never would have managed without him. And we're back. We're going to New York City. Spider-Woman is taking Miles home. And Miles is like, these aren't my clothes. And she says, "Well, Peter Parker used to bring a backpack full of clothes. You should probably start doing this." And Miles is like, "I can't just walk in my house after being gone the entire day and looking like I just joined S.H.I.E.L.D." because he's in a S.H.I.E.L.D. sweatshirt. And she says, no one's in your house. Your parents aren't home. Sneak in and change." And we see that she has like some cool special toys that allows her to like see in the house. And she says, "Just keep your story vague. So tell them that you were in, a place where people were being cared for." What's it called, Zach? A place where they're like housing refugees who are just in trouble during this war.
Like a shelter.
A shelter. There you go.
They took us all to this shelter. I couldn't call you.
And say you were there. She's like, as long as your parents weren't there too, that's an easy lie. She's good at this. Peter always was good at lying to Aunt May. And Miles says, who are you, Jessica Drew? Because he's been saying for 2 issues now that he knows something is going on that she won't tell him. And she says, I promise you one day I'll tell you, and it's nothing bad about you. I just really want you to do well. I want you to learn from all of our mistakes. And doing what you did today, even though we all got through it, it wasn't learning from anyone's mistakes. And Miles is like, so you're not going to tell me who you are or what this is about? And she says, I'll tell you when I'm ready, but not today. Be with your family and know that I'm crazy jealous. And she drives off in the S.H.I.E.L.D. van and leaves Miles. So like you said, we're kind of kicking this conversation down the road, and it's like, well, why did we just spend 2 issues building up to it if we're just going to kick it down the road? Like, I was expecting her to tell him then, and then we'd get to see what their reaction is, but now we're just going to wait till the next time that they show up and meet each other, I would assume.
Which makes me a little glad that, there'll be a next time. Like, we have reason to revisit Jessica in the near future.
Yeah, that's true. We're keeping her involved. We're not closing that story yet.
Right.
So Miles' parents, I'll do that again since I was clearing my throat. So Miles' parents still can't find him, and they are over at Genki's house because they're like, Genki, have you seen him? When did you last see him? Or I guess they're at the dorm. Would that be where Genki... No,
I think they're in his home, and I think Genki came over.
Oh, and Genki's mom, I guess, came over.
Oh, no, they did go to Genki's house. They went to Genki's house to ask, is Miles here?
And as they are questioning Genki, Miles walks in to Genki's house. So I guess that's why it's weird, because it's like, how would Miles know that they're there at all?
Right.
Or maybe this is like their dorm room and that's like the RA or something. I really don't know.
Yeah,
but they all end up in the same place. Miles walks in and they're like, where were you? We were so worried about you. And Miles keeps to his lie. He keeps it simple. He's like, I was in the shelter. They were holding us. They just let us leave. And he can tell something's wrong with his dad. And he says, you okay, Dad? And Rio says, your dad had a bad day. He fought off some of the terrorists. And Miles from off panel, we see him say, what? Are you serious? That's so cool. But Jefferson Davis's face makes it look like it's anything but cool.
I actually think that was Genki that said that, because I feel like that's something Genki would say.
That makes more sense, because when I read that, I was thinking, that doesn't sound like something Miles would say.
That would be Genki's immediate reaction.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But Jefferson Davis, like I said, I think he's going to be pretty broken up about this. He's got some demons with him.
I feel really bad for Jefferson. Like, first his brother dies, and then he has to kill someone. And he doesn't even know that his kid's a fucking mutant. He's got to kick him out of the house.
Yeah. Heaven forbid he finds that out today. Of all days.
He was just about to retire, too.
This was a good one, too.
Yes. Yeah, I liked it.
I do have a rating scale for us.
Okay,
because if you remember, after the Foxy Shazam concert, we said we were going to use this rating scale. Out of 100 cigarettes eaten, what rating did we get? And I'd also be remiss if I didn't bring up that Mandy and I have also talked about how, sadly, he's going to die from doing this at some point. And I shouldn't laugh.
Surely eating lit cigarettes for 15 years is not good for your health.
He's bringing it on himself, and part of me wants to like write him a heartfelt letter and be like, dude, it's really cool, you know, but like it's going to kill you and it's going to make me so sad when I read in the papers that Eric Nally died younger than he should have, but it's going to happen. It's sad. It's a choice he makes. It's the rock star lifestyle.
That's it. It's the lifestyle, honestly, because if it wasn't cigarettes, it would be something else. There's a video of that guy. They were like on tour with Panic at the Disco, and he was like, I just bought this blow dart at the... He talks like Michael Jackson. He's like, I just bought this blow dart at that there pawn shop. We're going to pierce my ear with it.
What? What is...
They just get up to adventures.
That's awesome. They need to be more famous than they are. It hurts me when every single time I bring them up, nobody has ever heard of them. And I know that was me like 5 months ago.
I want to go back and figure out what the first time on this podcast I mentioned Foxy Shazam was, because I'm sure I made them the jam of the week 2 or 3 times, and you're like, oh, cool, whatever. Whatever Zach's talking about.
You did say that when I finally made Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam the jam of the week, you were like, I've talked about them. I think I've made that song the jam of the week before. Or like you've made like them in general the jam of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Foxy Shazam is a big friend of this pod, or at least we're a friend of them.
Yes. Is Mandy like a concert buddy now? Because she has sent me like 2 other things since then, and I'm like, is this what we do now? Do you guys want to see more shows? Do you want to like try other things? Because I'll be honest, there's not a lot out there that like measures up to Foxy Shazam in terms of like
she likes
performance.
She likes hanging out with you and Shyla a lot.
Okay,
like I'm glad to hear feels really comfortable with like that foursome of a group.
Yeah.
So she would be happy like getting food or anything like that, but not to make you guys feel too good, but she's told me that she's like, I really like hanging out with Zach and Shyla. I just feel really comfortable talking to them like I don't feel when I'm talking to some of your other friends who she just maybe doesn't get along with as well.
Okay, good. I'm really glad to hear that. We like hanging out with you guys too.
Oh, Zach. So yeah, we'll have to plan some restaurant trip or something.
Sure.
Was it you guys who said to go to the California Grill on top of the Disney place, or was that somebody else?
Wasn't us.
I didn't think it was. And she was like, "But you guys went to Disney, and I know we talked about it." And she was like, "Well, they're foodies, so it was probably them." And I'm like, "I don't know if they're foodies. I don't know if that's how they describe themselves, but." She's like, they're always trying new places. And I'm like, okay, I guess you're right. They're foodies.
Yeah, you're right. We'll drive to the north side to try ramen.
That's what I tell her. But I didn't want to make that same joke again, but that's the exact same joke that I made.
I'll never live that down.
But it was good ramen.
It was. We did that the other day, though, too. We went up to Carmel for coffee and just to walk around.
Well, you should text us next time.
Yeah.
Even though we're probably out of town, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our rating. Out of 100 cigarettes eaten, let's see. What were some of the key points of this issue?
I'm going to grade this issue more favorably than I would have after my first read, because it is really making me appreciate Jefferson Davis as a character.
Yeah.
There's still so many different ways at this point that he can go, and it would be like a believable story. He's just a complex guy. And I feel bad, like the very last panel, you look at him and he's just like hurting.
Yeah. How is he going to react to all of this?
Yeah.
And we still are kind of waiting for that reveal to come to Rio and Jefferson about Miles.
Yes. And I think Jessica was a little bit more in character in this issue than in mine.
Well, she only shows up for that, like, one scene
Right,
when she rescues Miles. But yes, I would agree.
But she's psyched to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. Okay. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go, I'll go 80 out of 100 cigarettes eaten like a wood chipper.
I was also going to say 80 cigarettes.
Love it.
Ooh, I wonder how many cigarettes Eric Nally has eaten in his life at this point.
Well, I'm pretty sure he did 4. In most of the videos I watch, I think it's 4. And you said he's done 1,000 shows. So that's 4,000 cigarettes. And it was after we did that math that I was like, he's gonna die.
I don't know why we're laughing at this. You're not wrong.
Because he's doing it to himself.
That's such an absurd way to slowly kill yourself. But it's also so rock and roll.
It's very rock and roll.
And honestly, who's to say it's any worse than smoking them?
You know what? I've had that conversation with people. I'm like, I wonder if it is even worse. I mean, who knows? And did you say earlier here that if it wasn't that, it'd be something else? Did you just say that? Because yeah, it's probably true. So it's probably something else also. But
also, I mean, there's videos from like the 90s of Eddie Vedder like climbing up rickety festival stages and stage diving into the crowd from like 30 feet up. And people were like, dude, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to die. You're not going to live to 30. And it's like, he's an old man now. It just worked out for him.
People don't know shit.
Dude, the Rolling Stones are still kicking. You know they've got every poison in their body.
Yeah. You're right. Once your body gets used to it, it's like, you know, he's built up a tolerance to cigarettes.
He's built up the antibodies to consumed lit cigarettes.
Yeah. All right, which issues are we doing next time?
I had it.
In this fucked up number ordering of comics, which issues do we have next?
Oh, it's not that fucked up, dude. We're just doing issue 16.1 and issue 19.
Great. And we did 17 and 18 today.
Correct.
Perfect. So next week is 16.1 and issue 19. And yes. Zach, you assured me that this is the best order to do them in.
Yeah, because...
And I trust you.
16.1 is like a tease of the Venom arc that we're about to do.
Oh, I did see that it's Venom next.
Yeah. So we could have gotten the tease early, and we would have talked about it back in fucking January of this year, and we would have already forgotten about it by now.
Yeah, true. Well, those were good issues. What else do we have going on? Are we done with Spider-Man stuff?
I am done with Spider-Man stuff. I'm done with pretty much anything because unless you
did it all at the start.
We really hit it all at the beginning because we were just having fun. We hadn't talked since the concert.
What's our jam of the week?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me because I actually am really excited about this one. This has been a band that I'm listening to every day at work now, and they kind of remind me in some ways of like very early Foxy Shazam, like that album that you said is unlistenable.
A Foxy Shazam album that's unlistenable?
The one that has seagulls over Rhinoceros Bay. The flamingo trigger.
I for sure did not say an album was unlistenable. I said I listened to that song, and I was like, oh, it sounds like the Yoko Ono version of this.
Yeah.
don't put insults in my mouth about my favorite band.
I'm sorry. I misinterpreted that. But anyways, it's the Japanese version of that album. Basically, it's this jazz punk Japanese band from the 2000s called Midori, and their best song is Yukiko-san, and I play that about 8 times a day. I can't understand it at all, but I was
going to ask if it was in Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Kiko-san. Who's it by?
Yukiko-san, all one word. Yukikosan by Midori. The singer...
I'm actually going to check this one out, Zach. I've got it open on the tab.
The singer of this band might be the Japanese female version of Eric Nally.
Okay. She's just a rocker.
She's just a rocker.
I love that.
I followed her on Instagram.
Well, I'll give you a joke of the week.
Okay. Please do.
Because I just went to the Monsters Incorporated Laugh Factory attraction at Disney World. So here's one. What do you call... Why did the detective stay in bed all day?
I don't know. Why?
Because he wanted to be undercover.
Nice.
That's a classic.
That's a good one. Is that the one where they're like actually making the jokes about the crowd like in real time?
Yeah, dude, the people who do it just have to be so like quick-witted.
Imagine being one of the funniest people anyone's ever met, and that's your job. You're like you're like the Wizard of Oz of a Disney attraction.
Well, they interviewed, they just like pulled a kid out, and they were like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he said, "A detective." And 1 second later, that joke, "Oh, have you heard the one about the detective? You know, why he was in bed all day?" I mean, it was... And then the group we were with, they actually went to that also, but at a different time. So it was a different show. And the same thing happened, and the kid wanted to be a medic, and they immediately had some joke about a medic. And it's like, this is crazy. Unless they're plants.
They're not. I've had my friend get on camera.
Yeah,
my friend that we roast about absolutely everything, who's the butt of every inside joke,
got roasted by the Monsters.
The camera immediately found him.
That is great. That's how you know some people just like have a vibe.
He has that vibe.
Wow. All right. Is that it for us, Zach?
That's all I've got.
We've done it again then. Thank you for listening and leaving us a review or a comment. You can find us, Judy and Judd in the morning. Is that what it's called?
Judy and Red in the morning.
You can find us, Judy and Red in the morning, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else people listen to podcasts. Or you can come and chat with us and leave us a comment on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. I'll see you next week, Zach.
See ya.